I figured it out. Shakur Stevenson is the definition of boxing in human form. Watching this boy fight Saturday night, when you watch Shakur Stevenson, for those who don't understand what they're watching, you are watching what the point of boxing is in human form. You don't understand what I'm saying? I'll explain. What's good, fight fans? Your Majesty speaking. So, I came up with that nickname for Shakur Stevenson watching him fight Saturday night because he is the epitome of what it means to be a boxer. Now, I know a lot of, I hate calling people casual fans because I don't like to, make people feel like they are less than, but people who don't understand what they're watching when they're watching boxing, I get why they don't know what they're watching. It's kind of like if you're watching football and you don't understand what a cover two defense is and how to beat a cover two. You just watching the sport. A lot of times you don't understand the intricacies of what is going on. Shakur Stevenson is what a boxer should look like. If you was to roll back the pages of a dictionary and see what the definition of boxing is, it should have a picture of Shakur Stevenson. I saw a video with Shannon Sharp and Ocho pretty much discussing, the fight Saturday night with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. And I got to give credit to Ocho. Ocho was on point with it, but it makes sense because Ocho also had a fight before. So Ocho has been through boxing training and knows what it means to hit and not be hit. We watched Ocho get hit and get dropped and, get up and try to dap dude up. So he has an understanding of what it means to hit and not be hit. You get hit enough times, nobody out there trying to get hit. I also saw Shannon Sharp interview Terrence Crawford and also interview with Clarissa Shields, and you can tell Shannon Sharp has never been near a boxing ring in real life. And so it makes sense that he has no clue what he's watching. Now, granted, I get the excitement part of things. People want to watch a fight that is so-called exciting. They want to see a knockdown or a knockout or whatever the case may be. But I find that hard to believe because I remember just a short time ago, we had a gentleman by the name of Deontay Wilder who knocked everybody out. And people still complain about him not being able to box or not knowing how to box. So in one breath, you tell me Shakur is born because he's not getting knockouts. In the next breath, you telling me Wilder can't fight even though he's getting knockouts. It just comes off to me as a bunch of people that don't know what they want or what they're watching. I say that to say I've never went to a basketball game and said, well, you know what? If they don't get a dunk today, I'm leaving the game. I'm saying? I've never went to a football game and said, oh, if they don't throw a 40-yard bomb, I'm leaving the game. Nobody has ever said in any other sport that doing what the objective of the sport is boring if you don't have the extracurricular stuff with it. So in any other sport, scoring and not being scored on is perfectly fine. Unless it's, of course, not your team that's getting scored on. But you understand what I'm saying. In basketball, if LeBron can go get 30 on somebody and then shut his man down from getting 30, we look at that as a great thing. If an NFL team I'm an Eagles fan. We beat Bark off the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Nobody had an issue with that. It's only in the sport of boxing where we see what is meant to happen and we have an issue with it. Well, I'm here to tell you, you better appreciate Shakur Stevenson while he is around. Trust me, most people didn't appreciate Floyd until the end. Most people didn't appreciate Bud until the end. And Shakur is along that same cloth. It's not a coincidence that he surrounds himself with Andre Ward, that he surrounds himself with Clarissa Shields, Terrence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather. He's getting knowledge. And think about it. All of those guys outside of Bud was known for being great defensive fighters, great strategic. And Bud, you can put him back in this category, great strategic fighters where I'm going to outthink you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to let you hit me. When I watched Teofimo versus Shakur, I saw Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo all over again. The only difference is Teo didn't have a judge to give him an imaginary 6 rounds. Outside of that, watching Shakur versus Teo was a masterpiece. The way the man controlled distance, the way he knew that using his jab on Teo, because Teo keep his left hand low, and seeing as though Shakur is a southpaw, his lead hand is closer to Teo's left hand. The way he picked up on that and used his jab and was catching Teo lunging in, which is things that I had already said in my previous videos on how Shakur can win versus how Teo can win. I did a full breakdown. If you haven't seen those, please go check them out. Also, if you have not liked like the video, please do so. Also, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I drop future videos. But let me get back to the matter at hand. Shakur Stevenson, he just put on a masterclass performance. And I want to touch on a few things. I know I'm 7 minutes in and I didn't want this video to be long, but I did want to touch on a few things. First thing is Teofimo needs a new trainer immediately. Yesterday, it is no way on God's green earth that I have a trainer in my corner. And I said this on my live fight party kickback where we watched the fight and we scored the fight. I was saying, like, Teo's dad isn't saying, like, what did you, like, what are you here for? I would have fired him after round 4. He would have been gone. There's no way I should be getting my ass whooped like Teo was. And I come back to the corner and you saying stuff like, bro, what happened to your power? Like we fucking Power Rangers or some shit. Like, bro, tell me what the fuck I'm doing wrong. Tell me how to fix it. Guide me on what I should be doing, because the shit that we worked on in training camp obviously not working. So just like an NFL coach, if you have your first 10 to 15 plays scripted and you come out and you get a loss for yards on first downs, you got to go away from the script and figure it out on the fly. Teofimo Lopez Sr. is not that guy. And you can look at Teo and tell that he had no clue. If you go back and look at the live watch party that I did, I'm in here like, bro, Teo is lost. And he even more lost because he went to battle with somebody who don't have no clue of how to tell him what to do. It was sad. It was sad. That's my first thing. My second thing is I never, ever, ever want to hear anybody else say Shakur Stevenson is a runner. Ever. Ever. We watch Shakur Stevenson. And this is the type of person I am. I am a very observant person. And I pay attention to tendencies. Shakur's tendencies normally is what we seen from him Saturday night. The De Los Santos, the Nakatilia, those fights are anomalies when you look at how Shakur Stevenson fights. We normally see Shakur Stevenson stand in the pocket and work. He makes you miss. He makes you pay. If you go look at Jamel Herring, if you go look at Oscar Valdez, if you go look at Yoshino, if you go look at William Zepeda, every fight that I've ever seen from Shakur, outside of those two fights, he has looked like he looked Saturday night. Now, granted, people are going to blow up the Saturday night performance because it was against somebody the level of Teofimo. But that is the Shakur that I'm always enamored by when I see him fight. When I see Shakur fight, I see Floyd Mayweather all over again. Once again, not pretty boy Floyd, money Mayweather. The older Mayweather who was very strategic, that had the brittle hands, that forced you to beat him and then made you pay for trying. That is what I see when I see Shakur. And guess what? He gonna be around for a long time, because when you don't take punishment, that's the, once again, the man is the definition of boxing, bro. He's going to be able to fight as long as he wants to, because he's not taking any punishment. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? I never understood why people thought Tim Duncan was born. Like, the man is a fundamental god. And guess what? The same people that would say Shakur is born because he's fundamentally sound was the same people that loved Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence didn't do nothing spectacular. He was just a very fundamentally sound offensive fighter. That's it. My next thing, my last thing, my second to last thing, my bad. It makes sense why nobody wants to fight him. It makes sense why Tank Davis is saying stuff like, what has he done? Well, what did Rolly do before you fought him? What did Pitbull Cruz? I give you a pass. He was a fill-in. What did Lamont Roach do? Lamont, you telling me Lamont Roach was a 3-time world champion? Unified in one division? No disrespect to Lamont Roach. I'm from DC. I fuck with Lamont Roach. But I gotta call a spade a spade. It makes sense why Rolly said, nah, he gonna run all night. No, he not. You just know how good he is. It makes sense why Devin said 25% or no. He knew that Shakur was entitled to 30%. He knew that. But he found a way out to make it not look like he was ducking. And watch this. I respect Devin, because Devin will fight them all except Shakur. At least at that point in time. I don't know about now. Maybe he will now. But it makes sense why Richardson Hitchens said Shakur fight anybody. Keyshawn don't want to fight Shakur. He don't think he can beat Shakur. It makes sense. Who wants to go through what Teofimo went through Saturday night, where we watched T.O. beat Loma, we watched T.O. beat Josh Taylor, we watched T.O. look spectacular against Arnold Barbosa, and then in one fight, you go in there against a guy like Shakur, who has the ability to make you look bad. And now I hear people saying, man, I don't respect Shakur. I don't respect T.O. You got to respect T.O. Man, I don't think T.O. was that good. How? He beat Loma. How? You got to respect T.O. You know why? And as a matter of fact, let me take a couple seconds to say, Teofimo, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you gave the man a chance to show how great he was. Everybody's story ain't meant to be the guy. Sometimes you meant to propel the next guy. I appreciate the fact that you believed in yourself enough to take the fight so that we could see how good, well, y'all could see, because I already knew how good the little motherfucker was. But so that y'all could see how good Shakur Stevenson was. Because I'm kind of mad at the fact that he's showing how good he is, because I wanted to take everybody money when he fought Tank. But it makes sense, because you're not going to beat Shakur waiting around for one punch. You're not going to beat Shakur trying to press him out you're not gonna beat him that way. You're not gonna beat him at 5'3.5", 5'4" with little ass arms. You're just not gonna beat him. He's too good defensively. As I said when I rewatched his YouTube channel, when I had picked up on the fact that he's super alert. He pays attention to everything. He got some of the best eyes in the sport. He got some of the best feet in the sport. His ability to control the distance, his understanding to know what you do wrong and being able to take advantage of it while also knowing what you do good and be able to take that away from you. He is one of the best. And so it makes sense. Why would Tank say, man, I'll fight him? And you've been able to stand in there and fight these guys that will stand in front of you and allow you to show people how hard you hit, when you got to go in there with somebody like Shakur and risk the opportunity of looking bad and fucking up the fact that you can sell out any arena that you go to, that you can sell pay-per-views. It just don't make sense. And I'm not saying Tank's scared of him. It just don't make sense. But as I said years ago, Shakur, keep doing what the fuck you're doing. Don't change for a motherfucking soul. I never want to see you fight like you fought Williams and Zepeda again unless you absolutely have to. Because these people, the Camerons, I seen him talking shit about the Tiafimo would knock your head off. I guess that didn't age well. And now I seen him have O'Shaquie Foster on his show, and I guess they trying to drum something up. I would love you to go to 35 and tax that ass, because I don't think none of those guys can beat you. I don't think Abdullah Mason can. I don't think O'Shaquie Foster can. The one guy, I don't think Richardson Hitchens can. I don't think none of them other motherfuckers at 40 can. There's one guy who I believe has an opportunity to beat Shakur Stevenson. And I'm going to break the news here. And no, it's not because he's from DC. It's for multiple reasons. It's Gary Antoine Russell. The reason why I believe Gary Antoine Russell is the only person that will come close in these littler weights. Of course, you get bigger, we talking about something totally different. But from 40 down, Gary Antoine Russell is the only one who I see who can cause problems. And that is because the style that he fights, his quickness, his power, but also his length. You're never going to be shorter than Shakur Stevenson and give him issues. Mark my words. Gary Antoine Russell versus Shakur Stevenson will be the fight where we see how good Shakur Stevenson truly is, because these other guys are no match at all. And I want to end this by giving respect to Shakur Stevenson, because, my guy, you are the epitome of what boxing is. When little kids train or want to become a boxer, they should show them Shakur Stevenson. Why? Because this is how you're going to last in the sport. All that other shit is cute. The coming out with your eyes and shit fucked up, trying to Macho Man Randy Savage it, or pulling a Tim Bradley versus Provodnikov, where he fucking fought stupid and didn't have to, and ended up putting his body through a bunch of extra shit. That shit is irrelevant. When you teach a kid how to box, Shakur Stevenson is what should be shown to them. Now, from this point on, and I'm gonna end this here. As I said before, if you have not subbed, please sub. If you have not hit the the notification bell, please hit the notification bell. But I'm going to end this video like this. From this point on,